It's 300 million years ago, and a millipede the size of a car crawls through humid forests under crimson skies. Above, dragonflies with 2-foot wingspans hunt smaller prey like living helicopters. And in distant waters, bizarre shrimp-like predators with circular mouths lined with teeth stalk the ocean floor. This isn't science fiction. This is Earth before the dinosaurs. A world stranger and more terrifying than anything Hollywood could imagine. Long before T-Rex took its first breath, the oceans belonged to a creature called Anomalocaris. At over 3 feet long, this unusual shrimp ruled the Cambrian seas 520 million years ago as Earth's first apex predator, with enormous eyes mounted on stalks, grasping frontal appendages covered in spines, and a circular mouth ringed with razor-sharp plates. Anomalocaris was the killer whale of its time. It didn't need armor-crushing jaws. It relied on speed, agility, and superior vision to snatch soft-bodied prey from the water column. Sharing these ancient oceans were trilobites, the beetles of the prehistoric world. These hard-shelled arthropods came in thousands of species and dominated marine ecosystems for 300 million years, before vanishing during the Great Dying. But the true nightmare of the ancient seas may have been the Eurypterids, or sea scorpions. Creatures like Echolopterus could grow up to 8 feet long, making them the largest arthropods in history. Armed with massive, crushing claws and a segmented tail tipped with a spine, they were the undisputed terrors of the Silurian Sea, preying on armored fish and anything else unfortunate enough to cross their path. Fast forward to 300 million years ago, during the Carboniferous period, and Earth had transformed into an insect's paradise. The atmosphere contained 30% oxygen, nearly 50% higher than today, and this supercharged air enabled creatures to grow to monstrous proportions. Meganeura, a dragonfly-like predator with a 28-inch wingspan, hunted through steamy forests. But the true titan was Arthropleura, a millipede stretching up to 9 feet long and weighing 110 pounds, the largest land arthropod ever to exist. This vegetarian giant munched on dead plant matter as it lumbered through the humid swamps, leaving trackways 20 inches wide. As the continents merged into the supercontinent Pangaea 280 million years ago, the planet's rulers were neither reptiles nor dinosaurs, but synapsids, the distant ancestors of all mammals, including us. The most iconic was Dimetrodon, the sailback predator often mistaken for a dinosaur. This 15-foot carnivore prowled swamps 40 million years before the first dinosaur evolved, using its distinctive sail possibly for temperature regulation or display. With powerful jaws packed with different types of teeth, a mammalian trait, Dimetrodon was an apex predator related more closely to you than to any dinosaur. Yet, even Dimetrodon had rivals. In the waters it hunted near lived Helicoprion, a bizarre shark-like fish with a jaw that looked like a circular saw. Its lower jaw was a spiral of razor-sharp teeth that rotated like a buzzsaw, a weapon unlike anything alive today. And on land, Dimetrodon faced the enormous amphibian Eriops, a 6-foot-long crocodile-like predator with a massive flattened skull and a mouthful of sharp teeth. But the true terrors were the Gorgonopsians, Earth's first saber-toothed predators. These bear-sized hunters wielded 5-inch serrated canines designed for one purpose: tearing flesh. With gapes exceeding 90 degrees and serrated teeth resembling steak knives, predators like Inostrancevia used a brutal puncture-and-pull strategy to dispatch armored prey like Scutosaurus. Scutosaurus was a 10-foot-long tank-like herbivore with a 20-inch spiked skull and an armor-plated body. Despite its intimidating appearance, this slow-moving plant-eater was vulnerable to the saber-toothed killers that stalked the semi-arid plains of Permian Russia. Then, 252 million years ago, catastrophe struck. Massive volcanic eruptions in Siberia spewed greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, triggering the Permian-Triassic extinction, the Great Dying. Roughly 90% of all species vanished. Trilobites, Gorgonopsians, giant insects, and most synapsids were obliterated. From this apocalyptic wasteland emerged an unlikely survivor, Lystrosaurus. This pig-sized, tusked herbivore with a turtle-like beak became the most successful land animal in Earth's history, accounting for 95% of all vertebrates in early Triassic fossil beds. With no natural predators and the ability to dig burrows, Lystrosaurus inherited a devastated world. It would take 30 million years for ecosystems to fully recover, and, when they did, a new group of reptiles began to appear in the late Triassic, small, bipedal creatures with upright postures. These were the first dinosaurs, but they didn't become dominant immediately. For millions of years, they remained in the shadow of the creatures that survived the Great Dying. The age of dinosaurs was still to come, but the forgotten kings who lived before them had already written the wildest chapters in Earth's history. A tale of giant insects, saber-toothed mammals, and apocalyptic extinctions that shaped the world we know today.